Look at this. Look at our trade depots. We have 5 trade depots set up, and they are full of metal. Overnight, we have been importing truckload after truckload of metal to send off to our great work, our international airport. Wonderful. I thought about maybe one more trade depot in between episodes, but I 5 will be just fine. But yeah, look at this. Our main island, or the first island, is really starting to take shape. There's our first city. Here's our second city, which kind of is right now is serving as a staging point for our great work project here. So wonderful. Welcome back. But yeah, as I sit here with my cup of coffee, this city has a lot more air traffic. So I keep getting drowned out by by airplanes coming and going. But wonderful. Wonderful. For me, and I'm not saying that this is the only way. I'm not saying that this is perfect or that you have to do this. But when it comes to working on a great work, for me, I really like the concept of a city or maybe even 2 cities being the financial provider for the great work, but having another city that serves as the staging point. I can't tell you how many times early on with SimCity, this version of SimCity, I would attempt a great work with my primary city. And I had some struggles. I lost some cities. I had some cities that just spiraled out because not only are you trying to produce and export goods, products to make it a profit, but you're also trying to get in resources for the great work, and it just, like I said, I've lost some cities in that process. So I like doing it this way where I have a staging city, and it just feels more like a big project to have a city plot that eventually will become a full-blown city, but a city plot that is right for all intents and purposes is really, like I said, just a staging point to to get to get the great work up and going. But yeah, once I started doing it this way, constructing a great work became a lot easier for me. But yeah, welcome back. We are in our second city. Last episode, we sent money from this city to here. We put down trade depots. We started the application process for the airport, and we were bringing in the first of 3 resources that we need, which is metal. And overnight, we filled up these trade depots. So as we begin this day, let's get started. So International Airport needs 3 things. It needs metal, crude oil, and alloy. We've got 5 depots full, so let's go ahead and let's start sending those resources. Let's see if we can see some trucks. Let's add some trucks. Could have done that earlier, but that's okay. We'll see just how quickly 2 trucks per depot, just how quickly that works. Look, there goes a truck there. There goes another truck. Metal delivery truck delivering metal to the Great Works site. Just a little bit of traffic. Not horrible, but a little bit of traffic. Once it clears that, it should be I'm going to add more trucks. I want to see a steady stream. A steady stream of trucks off to the great work. Nice, look at that. I've said it before, I wish, I really do wish that we could go and visit the great work. The way that we can zoom into the city. You know, it would be wonderful if we could zoom in to the great work. That's what I want to see. A nice flow of trucks. Excellent. We've still got some trucks bringing in. So over time, this will start to fill up. Once it gets full, then we'll move on to crude oil. And I have found that it seems to be easier to do it this way. I used to try to send all of the resources at the same time. I just find it, for me, easier to do it this way. Go cheetah speed. Wonderful. Wonderful. In between episodes, I went back to our our first city of the season, of the region. That's funny. It's it's 5:19 a.m. just down the just down the road. But as you can see, I allowed this city to build up some funds. So let's go ahead. Since we're here, we know we need to do it. Let's send the maximum that we can send at a particular time. I want to wait. Simoleon gift. I want to always, it's good to wait just to make sure that the simulation knows what it is that's going on. It doesn't hurt even to save game. Get more funds in. That's nice. That's a nice convoy. That's not funds. That's an ambulance. I appreciate it, but I really want the funds. There it is. Good. Good. Getting there. 330 tons out of what's needed, which is 2,000 tons. So we're getting there. Right, look at this. We now have 1,940 tons of what we need, which is 2,000. So just a few more shipments and we'll be finished with our metal portion of our airport construction. There, full. Excellent. Excellent. Let's see, some of these are empty. Let's do this. Let's take this. We're going to export. Let's make some money. Export. Okay, nothing there. So since there's nothing there, let's do this. So now we need crude oil and alloy. Let's do the alloy. Let's take care of the import. Export. I did set that. Okay, just making sure. Export. That way we can make some funds back. That's now. Okay, that's set for alloy. That's set. That's exporting. I'm going to go ahead. Let's do an extra. Lately, I've been doing 6 trade ports. I just feel like let's do it. Of course, sign. Import. Let's do this. Can we, while we wait for those to... So while we wait for that to export, let's go ahead and get these down. So import that and export that. And then we'll make a bit of a profit on this excess. Yeah, here comes an alloy. This might be. Is this our first alloy delivery? I believe it is. I don't see any other. And here comes probably a metal export. Delivering alloy. And at the same time, exporting metal. All right. We'll make a profit and we will fill these up, switch these over, and start working on the alloy portion of our great work. All right. We should have 6 trade depots all set up for imports of alloy. I've gone ahead and made the transition. We've exported our metals, so I've switched those depot lots to alloy. Even though this one is not completely full yet, we have enough in storage. Let's go ahead and start. Excellent. Now we are sending alloy, and we need 1,500 tons of alloy. We are now just a few delivery truck shipments away from 1,500 tons of alloy. We are just under 1,300, so very, very soon, because we've got a steady flow of trucks going to our airport construction site, so very soon. They're full. No more alloy needed. Excellent. All right. We're down to just needing crude oil. Let's see what we've got here. It looks like these are pretty full. All right, now. I'm going to go ahead. Let's set these for export, but there's something that I noticed with our city. Make sure I clicked OK. Yep, OK. Export. Export. Okay. Now, we'll get these exported and switch out these warehouses for crude oil. But here's the funny thing. I've been so focused on this, and time has passed. But look at our look at my our city has grown up. If I'm not careful, we'll have high rises. Look at the population. The population has started to really go up. Oh, we need jobs. But you know what? If they'll just stay, because we're going to need jobs, we're going to need people to go over here and work. So, under normal circumstances, I would be a little bit concerned. But if we can get crude oil in time, because I believe we need a little over 300 workers or something like that here. We'll see. But if we can just maintain then we're going to have some employment opportunities over there. All right, we are down to just a few more exports of alloy. I've already made the transformation and the transition. These are now crude oil lots, and we're getting in our first shipments of crude oil. Let's go ahead and start to believe we can get rid of this, this, and this. Just a few bits of, you can see the alloy. There's no need of waiting. Let's import that. Let's see which one of these. This one. All right. Excellent. All right. This one is getting there. We're just one more lot away from this being full, but hopefully by morning these will all be full and we can start sending them to the airport, which will finish up this phase of getting resources to the airport, and then they can continue on with the construction. Right, look at this. Excellent. Nearly full. Just about. We've got a couple of lots, but those lots were for alloy, so we're in great shape now. Crude oil. And we need 250,000 barrels of crude oil. And we are now down to just a few more delivery truck shipments of crude oil, and that will complete phase one of the construction of the airport. Look at that, 245. So 245,000, we need 250,000 there. Full. So we are full of crude oil, which completes it. So metal, crude oil, alloy. Phase one is complete. We should move into phase two momentarily. There. Phase two of two. So workers are constructing from the materials. And from this vantage point, you can see it's taking shape. Very good. Very good. Soon we will have our international airport. We are closing in on the end of phase two. The construction progress is at 92%. So very soon we'll be finished and we'll be cutting the ribbon on our international airport. It's really taking shape. Let's see what it looks like from city view. Yeah, look at that. Very cool. Very cool. Ah, there it is. Construction complete. Really good. Regional benefits. Tourists. Accepts freight. Construction of the international airport requires resources and workers from cities in the region. Once it's open, the international airport will bring flights of tourists into the region and ships freight on cargo planes. Let's cut the ribbon. Nice. Excellent. Excellent. All right, now what we need to do, let's see here. Oh, we've got a lot of crude oil. Let's make some money. And then we'll see what's needed up here. Yep. So we got to supply some power as well. Export. Export. Okay. Now, we've got to make sure that we are generating enough power. Now, I think I want to do it between two cities. Let's share the responsibility. So let's put this down. Okay. Let's go back here. That should be more than enough. And I mean, that should be almost overboard. Look at that. Funny. So because this city we just logged in, it's still in phase 1. It doesn't realize that the construction is already complete. All right. Now it might take the simulation a little bit of time to figure it out, but we're supplying more than enough power, and we are supplying enough workers, or should be supplying enough workers. And then once we achieve that, then we can turn it on. It says it needs workers. That should happen soon. 0 megawatts of what? So yeah, all of these things should happen very soon. Good morning. Excellent. 300 workers. Way more power that's needed. Our international airport is now working. Perfect. Perfect. What will happen? I believe it's crime. Each of the great works, only the solar farm, once you get it built, is pretty much maintenance free. The international airport, if you've got any criminals in the area, they can go and they can cause a security issue, which will shut down the airport temporarily. Your space center can get a computer virus, so it's not always smooth sailing. So we will get a notification from time to time, letting us know that the airport has been shut down due to security issues, which is a little irritating, but but it is what it is. So, all right, excellent. So cool, so cool. These should have almost, and we can start to tear this down, and we can also get rid of that road as well, and actually start working on this city that has grown up while we were transitioning and using this as a staging point. We've got a pretty good Population. Look at that. They're happy. 88% approval. City's making money, but a lot of this is going to change because I do not foresee this city staying this layout staying like this. I just don't think this is the way it's going to be, but we'll deal with that. But I'm so happy. Look at that. Nice. Once we log back into this city, we'll go through the ribbon cutting process again for that city. But nice. And once again, keep in mind, I need feedback. What do we do here as far as this great work? We already have the international airport, so I really need your feedback. My original thinking was we were going to do a solar farm. We have done solar farm before, and the solar farm, the benefits only extend to two cities. So it looks so these two cities over there don't get any benefit from, wouldn't get a benefit from the solar farm. So if we did a solar farm, we would be building it really only to power these two cities. The arcology might, and this is where I need your feedback with the arcology. It is such a large structure. I am concerned that it would overpower the region. But let me know. You may think, well, I don't think it would overpower the region. The space center is interesting because it is a tourist. It's a big tourist destination draw, so that could go hand in hand with the airport. And it's interesting from this vantage point because we are now logged in as this city, so we don't share. We'll get the tourists, but we don't share in this great work. So you'll see there, you don't see a great work because it these two cities don't are not connected, so they don't share. And so if that over there was the solar farm, these two cities wouldn't get any power. All right, nice. We are back. Let's see here. I think. Yep. All right, good. Let's do this. Let's start the process of transforming this city plot from a staging area into this is all gonna take place in one swoop. Nice. All right. Those depots serve their purpose in helping us get this airport up and running. Look, our airport advisor is already giving us some information. It's good information. Look at that. Add a passenger train station. So the advisor is advising to put a passenger train station here to get more tourists from the international airport. Yeah, we were going to be doing that. That's good information. But yeah, we're going to be transitioning from using this city plot as a staging area to now we're going to be working on turning this into its own city. So I am looking forward to this. Um, initially, This road layout was what I thought we were going to be doing, but the more I think about it, the more I've got some different ideas for this city and for the road layout. But that's for the next episode. So excellent. Excellent. What a good day. Actually, what a good couple of days. But I am looking forward to actually getting started with this city plot and getting this city going. But until then, we'll see you next time for the next episode.